And
Okay.
we talk about trust and engagement sort of together and separately too. So what is the difference between trust and engagement? Engagement is all those great things you're talking about, people feeling good about their work, seeing their higher purpose and so on. Trust is really a precursor to engagement. So trust is that sort of, as I said, the human behaviors that build the environment in which people can be engaged. And so sometimes companies get stuck at the trust stage, and so they can never get to a fully engaged workforce. And usually there's some sort of critical things that either happen or don't happen, which gets in the way of building trust. And so
what are those things?
So I would say things like leadership. What is the word? So management keeps its promises.
Right.
Management would lay people off as a last resort. Management's actions match its words is actually the #1 driver of great place to work, people's feelings of great place to work. So when we kind of correlate the statements, all the statements on the trust index, the biggest predictor of whether people think it's a great place to work is whether management's actions match its words. So
that's
I find
interesting.
that really interesting.
Well, it's also a kind of gets a judgment call as for parenting as well. You know what I mean? Like as for the 5-year-old or even a 10-year-old or a teenager, if you don't have consistency as a parent, and are making idle threats that never
amount to anything.
Amount to anything, or making idle more about making idle promises that don't amount to anything. That's where you're going to start failing. So it's really more of a sociological thing than a business thing.
Yeah, that's why it takes me back. Everything we do is just about human behavior and human relationships. So those kind of would fit into the sort of leadership credibility bucket, if you will. But then what we're also seeing is in the respect bucket, the other direction. So it's not what leaders do, it's what leaders encourage their people to do. So management takes my suggestions, management encourages suggestions and ideas. Management shows appreciation for good work and effort. Management considers, values me as like a person, has a sincere interest in me as a person, not just an employee. So those respect pieces are equally important. And what we're finding as we move more into sort of the information era where innovation is key, you start with the competent and credible top-down communication, but this upward flow of communication is really, really prominent as well. And I think we all as leaders probably spend more time talking than we do listening, and we need to shift that. Right. And so I think it's important for senior leaders, especially, to appear to be credible and competent and let people know this is where we're going and this is how we're going to get there. But the flip side of that, equally important, is the listening piece, because that's what it makes employees feel like they have agency to make a difference.